Hello, good evening and welcome to News 360 live from our studio here at Adesanwe Kanda in Accra. I am Martin Asiedu-Date.
We're also live on DSTV channel 279. I am Grace Hamwajuman. Coming up tonight.
News 360 headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal,
EcoBank.
Vice President Professor Jane Opoku-Agyeman pledges government is taking steps to resolve the apparent public pressure and the current transport crisis in parts of Accra.
Also tonight, International Monetary Fund IMF says $214 million loss from Ghana's domestic gold purchase program should be brought on balance sheets rather than held on the balance sheet of the central bank.
And later in the bulletin, the university fees, staff recruitment, pensions and utility costs discussed as Education Minister meets Vice Chancellors and signals possible permanent committee for annual review.
In business tonight, Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC, makes case for scrapping of price floor policy for further fuel price cuts.
On the international front, World Food Programme warns that thousands of people in Nigeria's strife-torn northeast are facing the risk of catastrophic food shortage for the first time in nearly a decade. We have details of all these stories and more. We're also streaming live on our Facebook page and YouTube page, and you can always be a part of the show, so do let us hear from you.
Well, let's begin the bulletin from that transport conversation we've been having since the week began. And this time, the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, has pledged that government is taking definite steps to resolve the apparent public transport crisis, which has left several commuters frustrated amidst clamoring for vehicles to get to their various destinations. The VIB engaged transport unions and toured the stations of the operators in the capital on Friday.
In this vein, His Excellency the President has asked me to assure all of you that he will give support to Metromas, Ayalolo, and the private sector. And the private sector with new high occupancy buses in order to augment the services in the medium term. We also have plans to ensure that those that need to be repaired, that the process will be expedited to ensure they can put more buses on the road as soon and as quickly as possible. So my pleas are let us continue to work together to develop.
Responding to allegations of artificial vehicle shortages in the Greater Accra region, during a multi-stakeholder meeting with the Vice President and the Transport Ministry, leadership of the transport operators noted that the situation was far from the truth.
Our problem is that from where we had met in 2016, I'm talking now, all the cars are now old. People complain. Most of them will work one day, tomorrow they will not work. They're all at the shops. And then somebody in his publication will say, we have created an artificial shortage. Like Alhaji said, who will go and park his car to create that shortage and go and sleep without food? So the problem is that we have all identified the problem, and that is really a problem which needs holistic attention.
After touring the headquarters of Metro Mass Transit, the Vice President commended the operators but maintained that there's a need to return the service to its former glory.
We are working with about 60% of what we used to have. How come we used to have a 1,000 or so and we are happy with the 400? Something went wrong. Whatever it was, we need to fix it and never return to that situation again. The next time we come here, we want to see even more. We want to see better. We want to see a Ghana resetting through Metro Mass.
During a meeting at the Ghana Passenger Transport Executive, GAPTI, Acting Managing Director Awudu Dawuda noted that despite growing challenges with Ayalolo buses, measures have been taken to help resolve the crisis.
It is important that the records will reflect that it is because of the issues that we have increased our fleet in terms of the number of vehicles and the buses that we put on our corridor. Currently, we operate 6 corridors. Because of the issues that have been brought to our attention, we have added 2 more corridors.
As part of efforts to support the transport operators, Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman disclosed that government will procure new buses.
The President has asked me to assure all of you that he will give support to Metro Mass, Ayalolo, and the private sector with new high occupancy buses in order to augment the services in the medium term. We also have plans to ensure that those that need to be repaired, that the process will be expedited to ensure they can put more buses on the road as soon and as quickly as possible.
It remains to be seen whether the situation will improve following the Vice President's intervention after engaging key stakeholders at the heart of the public transportation crisis. Lodi Dwasari, TV3 News, Accra.
In a related development, drivers at the La Paz Tema station have denied transport fare hikes in rush hours, but have blamed the cost of spare parts of vehicles for the scarcity of cars in the capital, leaving masses of people in exhausting queues daily. Christine Yali has more on this report.
A concern on the back of the current public transport crisis has been the alleged restriction of vehicles by some transport operators. A move may have seen as deliberate. The long queues, the stress, and the lost hours are beginning to have a huge toll on the public, and the situation is never different at the La Paz Tema station. School children and the essential workers like nurses endure the pain of long waits with no end in sight. Drivers here have denied charging unapproved fares in the morning and evening rush hours.
We don't do that here because there is discipline and strict enforcement of rules.
I then asked him about the claim that some operators are deliberately restricting vehicles, but he attributes the shortage to unavailability of spare parts for some of the vehicles.
The spare parts are costly. Also, we are unable to get some of the cars we used to operate with due to their expensive nature.
While the long queues barely move, more passengers continue to join from the other side of the road. This is the worry of many who are beginning to lose patience from the daily struggles.
You see, some people are going to work and then being in the queue for 20 minutes delays the work. So I think there should be public transport so that people can go early and then work.
Momo Kwakra, Matisse ya no passe de yajimo 6 cities, right? Beyana and Yumre no a domino a bo peso sana ye charge mo do saying the osa omoji debia.
No quarrums and a panacrano do quan. On a bell say, only first the 50 pesos. Who do circle so as also to us? No, so I do circle free. In Sana Panan, so 1 year, no, they invested down the 10 cities. La Paz 10 cities. And the idea 1 more year.
That's what she just confirmed to me, that they are going to Accra, and usually in the morning like this they are charged 6 cedi. They are charged 6 cedi. However, in the evenings, when a lot more of people mass up at the transport terminals, they are overcharged. They are overcharged. It take them 10 cedi, 15 cedis, and that is the situation.
As stakeholder engagement continue, it is expected there would be a solution soon. Christian Yale, TV3 News, La Paz, Accra.
Let's go on to some other stories now. The International Monetary Fund, the IMF, has disclosed that Ghana's domestic gold purchase program resulted in a quasi-fiscal loss of $214 million, while also acknowledging that the initiative helped stabilize the economy during a period of financial stress. Speaking during a briefing on the IMF's 5th Review Staff Report on Ghana, the Director of Communications Department at the IMF, Julie Kozak, said that the program contributed positively to boosting international reserves and easing pressure on the foreign exchange market at a crucial time for the country.
In our staff report for the 5th review, the report acknowledged this program, and it acknowledged and discussed a bit the benefits and the costs of the domestic gold purchase program. On the benefit side, what we see is a contribution to a buildup of international reserves and reduced pressure on the foreign exchange market during a difficult period for Ghana. So those were the benefits of the program. The report also quantified what we call a quasi-fiscal loss. Quasi-fiscal meaning because it's not on the fiscal balance sheet, but ultimately it is a fiscal loss. And that loss was $214 million that the team quantified. The loss stemmed from trading activities, fees, exchange rate movements. And to help address this, our recommendation is to strengthen transparency, governance, and risk management, especially for the gold bod-linked channel under this domestic gold purchase program. We also strongly recommend that the losses should be brought on balance sheet rather than held on the balance sheet of the central bank. So on the budget, they should be brought on the budget's balance sheet rather than held on the central bank's balance sheet. And why is this important? It's important to ensure that the Bank of Ghana remains well positioned to deliver on its key price stability mandates. So it's about moving something that is quasi-fiscal, moving it onto the budget balance sheet so it's transparent, and it also ensures that the Bank of Ghana is able to deliver on its mandate.
Right, so let's try and get some further understanding of what exactly has been said there. Dr. Peter Tekpe is an economist and has joined us for a quick conversation. Doc, good evening. Thank you for joining us on News 360.
And thanks very much to your cherished viewers. Good evening to your cherished viewers as well.
The conversation about whether or not the $240 million was a loss or on operational costs, etc., is still out there. Government has tried to explain it, and it was on the back of IMF telling us that, yes, we undertook this gold purchase or gold for reserve program, and these are the losses. Efforts, according to the Bank of Ghana governor, are being made to ensure that these losses are reduced or do not recur to this magnitude. The IMF is now telling us that the losses should be moved from the books of the Bank of Ghana. What's your understanding of that statement?
Well, the activities of Gold Board and the benefit it brings to Ghana far outweigh the losses that we are seeing, because it has helped the country a lot, especially in terms of reserves mobilization, which is very good. Now, with the comment from IMF, the report from IMF, what IMF basically is telling us is that Bank of Ghana should focus on their core mandate, which is monetary policy management. Because once you move away from your core mandate and try to involve yourself in activities outside your jurisdiction, then it's going to dilute your performance. And so everybody will see you not to be performing as expected. Meanwhile, it's as a result of activities that were not directly linked to you that you have engaged yourself in. So that is the picture that the IMF is painting to us and telling the government that look, focus on your core mandate so that we'll be able to actually differentiate between what is your real performance and what is consolidated performance in terms of government activities or other unit activities.
Right. And is the Gold Board in a good position financially to take on these losses, especially going into a new year, if its operations, as per what it has undertaken in 2025, if you're using that same blueprint for 2026, can it accommodate these losses and still make the significant profit it made last year?
Well, the whole structure of Gold Board in terms of financing needs to be looked at, because you see, the activities of Gold Board is such that it cannot mobilize enough resource itself to be able to purchase the gold volume that they have been purchasing. Don't forget, they are trading in Ghana cities in terms of the gold they buy in Ghana, but they sell in foreign currency. So you need more cedis to be able to mobilize enough of the gold from the market. And Gold Board does not have that capacity. It needs support from other areas. That is why maybe we have to look at a syndication from the various banks to support the activities of Gold Board. Other than that, if Bank of Ghana involves itself, that is where we are going to see these losses coming out. So government needs to look at the entire financial structure of Gold Board and see how to mobilize or organize funding to support the activities of Gold Board. So Gold Board will be independent and handle its own resources. Other than that, it will continue to draw funds from the central bank, which will affect the central bank's position as we are saying now. That is why IMF is cautioning us that let us not tread on that path, because in the near future, it will not be in the interest of the fiscal space of Ghana. That's why they are asking us to do so now.
All right, Dr. Peter Tekpe, thank you for your time on this subject, and we are grateful that you made time to speak with us. He is an economist.
Thank you very much.
Let's just say with issues on the economy, because the composition of the 12-member Presidential Advisory Group on the economy page has got the country talking at a time when many have relatively accepted that the economy is on a good footing. The group could further advance the economic gains made. For financial analyst Joe Jackson, if only the government will listen to the counsel of the group he describes as the 12 wise men, their rich expertise could have a significant impact on the smooth running of the economy. He spoke to my colleague, George Quaynin.
Almost every sector is represented in the composition of the Presidential Advisory Group on the economy page. From finance to academia, stocks, economics, and a host of other sectors that define the economy. Currently, former Minister of Finance said Tekpe serves as the Presidential Advisor on the economy. But many are asking, what would the Presidential Advisory Group on the economy actually do? For financial analyst Joe Jackson, the rich expertise of the members is enough to drive the ailing economy.
When you choose this group, what am I going to say to Kwame Pianim or say Sam Jonah or Dr. Dufour? They know what they're about, right? And I think all we should do is, the advice should go to those who are listening, not to those who are going to give advice. I don't think anybody there is going to be shy of giving their opinion. Not at all.
The financial analyst expects the government to listen to their counsel, even though their role is only advisory.
In the best case scenario, you're going to find that they are going to give really good advice to the government. Non-partisan, rigorous, evidence-based advice to the government. And if the government listens, then all of a sudden you'll be signaling to the investor community, you'll be signaling to the wider business community, you'll be signaling to the whole world that Ghana is serious about fixing its problems.
He is impressed by the non-partisan composition of Page.
As Ghanaians ready themselves to feel the impact on the economy, time can only reveal its effect in real time. George Queenan, TV3 News, Accra.
Let's go to one of the most topical subjects many of you have been talking about over the last few months. And the United States Marshals have detained former Chief Executive Officer of the Microfinance and Small Loans Center, MASLOC, Sedina Tamaklo Ationu, in Nevada following Ghana's extradition request. She was convicted in absentia in 2024 on multiple corruption-related charges involving some 90 million Ghana cedis. There is more in this report.
The confirmation of the arrest of former MASLOC boss Sedina Tamaklo Ationu was made by Ghana's ambassador to the United States, Victor Emmanuel Smith. According to a press release issued by Ambassador Smith, she is being detained at the Nevada Southern Detention Center. Sedina Tamaklo Ationu is said to have been arrested by U.S. Marshals on January 6 and has remained in detention since then. The release notes that her arrest was carried out in response to an extradition request sent to U.S. authorities in July 2024. She's been held pending court proceedings in the United States, where the extradition process is expected to proceed. This week, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, disclosed that the United States government has assured Ghana it will not stand in the way of efforts to extradite Sedina Tamaklo Ationu. The former Chief Executive Officer of the Microfinance and Small Loans Center, MASLOC, was sentenced in absentia in April 2024 to 10 years in prison with hard labor by the Accra High Court. She was found guilty on 78 counts, including causing financial loss of 90 million Ghana cedis to the state, stealing, money laundering, conspiracy to steal, and contravening public procurement laws. The former Chief Operating Officer of MASLOC, Daniel Axim, was also sentenced to a 5-year jail term with hard labor. Sedina Tamaklo Ationu sought permission from the court to travel to the United States for medical treatment during her trial and did not return, leading the court to proceed with the case in her absence. She became a fugitive in the United States with an arrest warrant issued by the Accra High Court. Meanwhile, on January 14 this year, the Supreme Court granted Daniel Axim bail in the sum of 500,000 Ghana cedis pending his appeal. Daniel Axim's appeal, initiated over a year ago, has stalled, prompting his lawyers to file a bail application after he had already served nearly 2 years of his 5-year incarceration.
Meanwhile, the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which many of you know as ICE, that unit has described Ghana's former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta as an illegal alien who has overstayed his permanent admission. ICE adds that the former finance minister's conduct amounts to a violation of U.S. immigration law, which could result in deportation. An ICE spokesperson provided this clarification in a correspondence with TV3's Joseph Akable. I'll walk you through some of the highlights captured in that correspondence, where we asked specific questions to the ICE officials and they gave us their responses. So you see that on your screens shortly. It starts with what they say Ken Ofori-Atta, or Kenneth Nanaya Ofori-Atta, as the OSP likes to call him, is an illegal alien from Ghana that is facing corruption and corruption-related charges in his home country. He entered the United States on May 28, 2025 on a visitor's visa with an expiration date of November 27, 2025. Ofori-Atta overstayed his visa term. He has also been issued a notice to appear and will remain in ICE custody. He will be given due process before a Justice Department immigration judge. The Trump administration has been abundantly clear that aliens must respect our laws or face the consequences. Overstaying a visa is an immigration law violation that can result in deportation. So those were the responses we got from officials of the Immigration and Customs Enforcement in the United States of America. And on the 20th of January, Ken Ofori-Atta is expected to have his first day appearance in court in the U.S.
Elsewhere in education matters, the sector minister has held a meeting with vice chancellors to determine the possibility of establishing a permanent committee to review university fees annually. Recruitment and replacement of staff, as well as cost of utilities and pension funds, were also discussed.
The issue about university fees has been topical in recent weeks following an upward adjustment by the University of Ghana, which sparked public uproar and subsequent directives from GTEC and the ministry. Education Minister Harun Idrisu has signaled the potential establishment of a permanent committee that would annually review fees for universities.
The other matter that I would like us to discuss today is to see whether we cannot have a committee which will annually meet to discuss and review your fees, so that we don't have to be going through. Even if we have to go through, we should have a committee at our level. Probably, if I were to say that, maybe chaired by Deputy Minister and your representative and others, so that we can discuss together with the Tertiary Education Directorate and your representative, including a representative of the students, whether at the level of NUCS or SRC, so that we can dialogue on some compelling and necessary adjustment if it's necessary.
Chairperson of Vice Chancellors Ghana, Professor Kwesi Amankwa, suggested that universities be given a complete mandate to determine their fees without necessarily going through Parliament.
Virtually is one of the points we wanted to raise, that we take school fees determination from Parliament. When people are in opposition, their issues are different from when they are in power. And always is the universities that lose. PURC just tells us we have increased electricity. Nobody fights them. Let a VC increase fees by 200 Ghana. Hey, everybody is fighting the Vice Chancellor.
In other issues, Professor Amankwa lamented the difficulty of universities to recruit staff and replace those who retire.
And for the past almost 3 years, universities have not been given the opportunity to employ because we have not been given staff clearance. And this has been a big challenge. For the past 3 years, I want to believe that in every university, at least 80 people have exited. So we are here to seek clearance for replacement of staff, and also for you to grant us automatic replacement of staff when they go on retirement. The salary burden remains the same.
The meeting, which was held backdoor, also discussed pension funds and what role the regulatory authority should play going forward, as well as the handling of cost of utilities by the universities. Christian Yale, TV3 News, Ministry of Education, Accra.
Let's do some politics now. The national chairman of the governing National Democratic Congress, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, has taken his nationwide thank you tour to the Bono East region, bringing a message of gratitude and a listening ear to the party's grassroots. The tour is designed to formally thank party faithfuls for their dedication and to also gather first-hand data on the developmental gaps plaguing local communities.
In a park gathering of regional executives, constituency heads and dedicated cadres, the chairman emphasized that the strength of the NDC lies not in its national headquarters, but in the resilience of its members in regions like the Bono East. Asiedu Nketia dedicated significant time to engaging traditional leaders and youth groups to document specific developmental challenges. Key issues raised so far include post-harvest losses due to poor road network, connecting farming communities to markets, and infrastructure deficits in newly created districts within the region, among other things.
Apart from the major highway, our town roads have been left for the past 8 years, and God knows how long we have suffered on this. Keji is a very big town, and we pray that this year And before the end of 2028, we will get our first share of the town roads.
We have challenges with water. Our lighting system is also poor. These are our major priority areas, and we plead that these challenges will be addressed as soon as possible. Go East is known for voting for NDC. We always vote for the NDC, but when they come to power, our developmental issues are not being addressed with priority. Even though we get some, it is not enough. And so we'll plead, with our dedication and loyalty to the party, we should also get what is due us. The national chairman assured the people that these findings will be synthesized into the party's broader policy framework. I have come to say thank you because even the Bible says when you ask for something and it's being given to you, you're supposed to show appreciation. And so you've done your part. You voted massively for the NDC. It is my turn to say thank you, and that is why I'm here. I also want to plead with you to be patient with us. All the promises we made while we're campaigning, we'll be sure to fulfill all those promises. By returning to the Bono East region, a critical electoral battleground, Asiedun Ketia is effectively mending the nest and consolidating party's base.
Away from that, the Executive Director of the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, Professor Nana Brown Kluche, says the authority remains resolute despite November 6, 2025 attack on EPA team and journalists during an anti-Galamsey operation at Dajuni in the Ashanti region. During a meeting with the management of Akuma FM, a subsidiary of Media General, on Friday, she hinted of an insurance package for victims.
On November 6, an operation led by the Executive Director of the EPA, Professor Nana Brown Kluche, to close down some warehouses alleged to be shielding the fabrication of illegal mining equipment turned sour when some thugs chased out the team from Dajun. This led to an accident at Afari. 8 people, including 5 journalists, sustained serious injuries, including TV3's Ashanti regional correspondent, Ibrahim Abubakar. A week after the incident, a joint police-military team swooped Dajun to arrest perpetrators of November 6 attack. Since the incident, leadership of the EPA says they have been in regular contact with a journalist involved. On Friday, Executive Director of the EPA and her team visited Akuma FM as part of their routine checkup on victims of the accident. Professor Brown says the incident has not deterred the authority from pushing the president's agenda of making the environment habitable.
Unfortunate event happened, and we are here to continuously present our support that this shouldn't be an incident that will deter you from working with us or dampen your spirit in working with us. We are in this together, in this fight against illegal mining and the whole environmental stewardship that the EPA is mandated for.
Station manager of Akuma FM, Ransford Nanause Asare, re-echoed Media General's commitment to the fight against illegal mining.
We know we are partners in this whole Galamsey fight and all of that. And Media General, for instance, we launched a fight against Galamsey, and it's been one of the things that we have always been advocating, hoping that we'll come to a logical conclusion.
The EPA later made a presentation to Ibrahim Abubakar, Ashanti Regional Chairman of the Ghana Journalists Association. Kofi Adudumfe commended the authority for the gesture.
And for us, that's the Ghana Journalists Association. We believe this is something that all institutions should emulate and take a cue from.
So watching Ghana's leading news program, News 360. Stay with us. We have business, sports and entertainment all coming up. Welcome back to News 360. Let's do business now. The Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana, COPEC, is calling for the removal of the floor price introduced by the National Petroleum Authority. It says scrapping the policy would allow consumers to benefit more from the current price competition among oil marketing companies.
Fuel prices have for the first time in years dropped into single digits as some oil marketing companies began reducing prices at the pumps today. Industry projections had suggested petroleum product prices would fall by more than 3% per litre in the current pricing window. GOIL, the second largest player in the downstream sector, led the way, cutting the price of petrol from 10 cedis 99 pesos to 9 cedis 99 pesos per litre at selected stations. Market leader Star Oil followed, announcing 9 cedis 97 pesos at most of its outlets nationwide. COPEC believes consumers could enjoy even greater reductions if the regulator removes the floor price policy. The NPA says the measure was introduced to stabilize the downstream petroleum sector, prevent unhealthy price undercutting, and ensure fair competition among OMCs and LPG marketers.
To the extent that government has washed its hands off the pricing of petroleum products, we should just allow the players within the industry to dictate. Mind you, yes, we have the regulator being on the sidelines, making sure that the deregulation policy is being respected. That is all the regulator has to do. We should allow the players to do what is necessary, just so the consumer at the end of the day becomes the ultimate beneficiary. If you have a floor price without a corresponding ceiling, then really where are we heading? That has been our argument all along.
Meanwhile, the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, COMAC, says the recent fall in fuel prices is largely due to stiff competition among industry players, but its chief executive, Dr. Riversenopon, has warned the trend could encourage illegal practices. He is urging the authorities to remain vigilant to prevent such activities.
Because the competition to attract consumers and the market is very high, looking at the number of OMCs and LPGMCs we have in the country and the number of filling stations we have, and that has pressed up with time. It comes up with the good side and also with the bad side. The good side obviously will be the consumer happy, or even the politician happy about it, to have the market bringing down.
And that's it for business. But before we go, let's find out what's happening or how the Ghana currency fared on the international global market.
Spray and coil.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Bill Ishen. We start off from the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations, where currently I am at the training session, which involves Nigeria as they are preparing for their game against Egypt in the third place playoff, which will be taking place in Casablanca. Now, Nigeria have been training in the last few minutes with the likes of Victor Osimhen, Captain Wilfred Ndidi, and head coach Eric Shell, looking to motivate the boys after a disheartening semi-final loss to Morocco on penalties. And the players have been speaking ahead of the game.
Yeah, fit, ready. Obviously missed out a lot, but now back fit, ready to train and fit for tomorrow. So it's physical. It's a lot different. Obviously, European football is physical. It's a bit more intense, especially. So, but it's good adjusting to it. Obviously, now the tournament's over, which is a bit annoying for me because I've been out. But something to look forward to, motivation to get to the next AFCON. And yeah, no, I think it was unfortunate. A lot of things just didn't go our way that day. Then obviously we done well to get to penalties, and then things just happened. So obviously frustrating for us as a team to not come out with something. But we just got to look tomorrow and at least come out with a bronze medal, so just to make the Nigerians, everyone happy.
So now let's move from continental to the local scene, where Hearts of Oak were once again held to a 0-0 draw by Dreams FC earlier on Friday in the Ghana Premier League. Now the result means that the Phobians are now in the top 4 with 32 points, 5 points behind Midiama SC, who are currently on top of the Ghana Premier League table. And the head coaches of the two teams were speaking after that particular draw.
When you fail to make the right decisions at the very key moments of the game, yes, you can be disappointed. But that's how the game goes. Exactly what we all saw. The chances we created at the top level, you don't miss the chances, and you can only be lucky to come back. We didn't do any addition, so we have to be contented with what we have.
Well, it was a good result in many parts. But to be fair, it was a game of two halves. Hearts had their moment in the first half, but the second half it was Dreams FC dominance. But Benjamin Asari, we would have scored an avalanche of goals. There were clear-cut opportunities. Razak came close, entry came close. But Benjamin Asari stood well in between the stakes. So overall, it was a tough game to call, but the result is a decent result. To be fair, from my perspective and from the class perspective, it was a decent away result because yes, the first half of the season we only managed to pick one away draw.
Now let's move on to Europe, where the Manchester Derby is expected to take place during the weekend, with Manchester City taking on Manchester United. And it could be Antoine Semenyo's first taste of the derby. Pep Guardiola, who is the head coach of Manchester United, has stated that he's been at the club for 10 years or so because of the positive results he's been getting, whilst Michael Carrick, who is the caretaker manager, has stated that he's looking forward to earning results for Manchester United.
Results.
Anything else?
No. If you don't win, you are sacked. So we won a lot, that's why I'm still sitting here. There's no other secret, no other club. But here a little bit more. They are more patient, I would say, but there is no other secret.
Yeah, I think improvement, I think certainly improvement, and helping improve individuals. I think a big part of what I really enjoy is improving individuals, and in the end, I think if you improve the individuals, we create a better team. So certainly working with the players and improving them with that, I think. Results. That's what it is. There's an element of performance, there's an element of improvement, and there's an element of doing what it takes to win in certain ways, in certain occasions. So certainly higher up the league we finish, we want to keep pushing and finishing high up as we possibly can.
Now that's it for the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Bill Chen.
Entertainment News segment is brought to you by GTP Lifestyle and Napa Foods. Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil. Powered by 3 Entertainment.
Well, good evening and welcome to the Entertainment News segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko. Now, the Musicians Union of Ghana, Musica, has officially launched a pension scheme tailored specifically for musicians, marking a major step towards securing the welfare of members. Now, the scheme is designed to reflect the unique nature of musicians' work, which often falls outside the formal employment structure. Musica President Bessa Simons explained that the scheme aims to provide financial security and hope for musicians as they grow older and become less active.
Under the scheme, members who contribute consistently for a minimum period of 5 years become eligible to receive pension benefits. The program targets musicians between the ages of 55 and 60, with special arrangements also made for those aged 65 and above.
So today we launched the Musica Pension Scheme with our partners who are Algebra and Stallion. With this pension scheme, it means if you join the pension scheme for 5 years, you can start, having your pension. If you are 65 and you join the Musica Pension Scheme, by the age of 70, you can, start getting your pension. If you start from 70, 75, you'll be collecting your pension. And this suits musicians.
Contributors are required to make a minimum monthly payment of 100 Ghana cedis, making the scheme accessible to musicians at different stages of their careers. Musica President Bessa Simons described the initiative as a timely intervention for both young and older musicians.
So many times when musicians get to a certain age, they don't have any hope. But with pensions, we know up to some time this narrative will change.
He stressed the importance of educating the youth about pension planning, noting that many young creatives struggle to appreciate its long-term benefits.
The youth are finding it very difficult to understand pension. Pension gives you hope. It means you contribute something small and put it there. By 60, you collect pension, which means you will be paid till, the Almighty God calls you. And you can use that to pay your rent. Even when you are sick, you know there is something there.
Bessa Simons expressed optimism that the scheme will help cushion musicians during difficult times and gradually change the narrative of aging musicians being left without support.
Well, that'll be all for the Entertainment News segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko.
Let's bring the latest from the international front. The UN World Food Programme has warned that thousands of people in Nigeria's strife-torn northeast are facing the risk of catastrophic food shortages for the first time in nearly a decade as aid cuts deepen malnutrition across the region.
Well, that's how we bring the package to an end. Thank you so much for watching. I am Martin Asiedu Date.
My name is Grace Hamo Ajiman. Thank you for joining us. Showbiz 360 is up with Giovanni.